and welcome to the masterclass with Dr. Khaled this evening, or whenever you will be listening. So we'll be working on vulnerability intelligence. Vulnerability intelligence. I'm going to tell you few stories, and then we pick the lessons. So if you join, please say where you are joining from, and then um, be able to participate. Yes, vulnerability intelligence. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a story. Um, a story, one beautiful story that happened in my life. Now, why that story is very important is sometimes you don't understand what is holding you back. You don't understand that at all. So that is why I encourage my friends. If you ever want to get successful, want to be rich, you must interrogate your foundation. You must interrogate where you are coming from. You must interrogate, you know, um, what has molded you for the past years. Where are you coming from? What are some of the things that had defined you? You know, the family you grew up in. All those kinds of things. You must understand that. Now, there are four things that will really define who you become. You know that already. Four things that will define who you become. And for you to be successful, you must attack. You must be very careful about those four things. Now, number one of the four is your environment. Environment dealt with me for many, many years. Your environment, very important. Everything you will be greater percentage will be a function of your environment. Yeah, what is happening around you? Your environment includes the mental environment, all kinds of environment. You know, so you better be careful with what you expose yourself to. So I grew up in this environment because I had poliomyelitis when I was 1 year, 6 months. So growing up was like very difficult thing. Not from my family. My family did their best. My mom, did her best to give me the best of what she can afford. She changed my mentality about who I am, made me understand that, you know, my legs cannot define me. She did all that. But you see, that doesn't change the fact that I don't work like others. I, you know, I jump my walk, I crawl, and all this kind of thing. So at the end of the day, the environment was very, very instrumental to giving me a very, very serious inferiority complex. Bad one. Inferiority complex. Very bad inferiority complex. You see, the second E is education. So I went to school. and learned how to read, and that changed my life. In fact, I read everything readable. I read from childhood that I could read psychology, philosophy, economics, law, everything, aviation. And like I always tell you, reading is like cooking soup. Immediately you get, you know, all the ingredients on their own alone, they are nothing. But immediately you are able to start putting them together, joining them, they turn into soup, they turn into porridge, they turn into, and it becomes something powerful. So that's knowledge I was getting from reading everything, reading. In fact, at the point, I read everything in my house. In our house, I read every single thing. So it started broadening my vision. I started reading and started understanding some things. In fact, I read about Helen Keller. I read about this person and that person. I read about, and it started broadening my vision. And then, you see, I started understanding that my disability does not define me, doesn't at all. So immediately I got to know that, yes, the third E is experience. Experience started unfolding. For instance, in my classes, I was the best student, and it came with a lot of respect. Came with a lot of respect from my classmates, a lot of respect from my teachers, a lot of respect from you know visitors to the school, like school inspectors, a lot of you know f- and then I started understanding that, oh, if I could just go ahead with this, I could amount to something somehow. People can respect me. So I started working seriously on my academics and all those kind of things. Yes. So my experience started defining the fact that, you know, life is not just about your disability or your background or your environment. Life is also about your capacity. So for the first time, I started noticing that whether people love you or hate you, if you have something of value, they will come for it. Wow, that's amazing. If you have something of value, those who hate you, those who love you, they will come for it. So what I started doing is that I started working on how can I make myself consistently valuable? How can I make myself consistently valuable? So I kept working on that. What can I offer to the society? I started looking at problems in the society to see the ones I can solve as a little boy. Can I counsel people? Can I mentor? Can I coach? Can I give good advice? Can I write? Can I solve assignments for my classmates? So I started working on that. So my experience proved that my disability is nothing if I can offer value. So we started changing and started changing my experience. Then the third E, the fourth E is what we call exposure. I love talking about these things a lot, exposure. Now, exposure is like experience, but what is your mind exposed to? And that is where trying to be very, vulnerable comes in, trying to, allow things to happen. So it leads us to talking about vulnerability intelligence. One of the reasons people are not successful is that they are not vulnerable. Vulnerable is a kind of feeling, or the kind of is the art of allowing yourself not to overthink things, and knowing that things can always go wrong, and knowing that things going wrong is not the end of everything. So really, um, I'm this kind of perfectionistic person. Like I told you, I've been best in my classes, so I always want things done well, done right, and but hey, it's held me down for many, many years. He held me down for many uncountable years. So what happened? Now I feel that things are supposed to be perfect, but I didn't understand that that sense of perfectionism is inverted inferiority complex. I didn't understand that. The same way pride is a subjugation of inferiority complex. So I was in this, then I went to the university. So that's my story. And after the story, I think I'll just wind down. I went to the university and I found out that I couldn't speak to people. I can't approach somebody and talk to them and all those. So those things that were hidden in secondary school in my house, they now came out fully. I don't have the confidence to speak to anybody. I could see somebody, I like the person, and I can't talk to the person. I can't make friends. I can't walk at the center of the class. Of course, you can understand why. Because I can always fall at any time. Banana peel can slip me, water pot on the ground can slip my crutches. I could stumble upon a chair, or a student can just be walking without looking, and then the leg will, you know, bump into one of my crutches, and then I am down and out, and then so every time I fall in the presence of people, so the infrared keep going up and up. Something happened one day that really made me know that, hey, you need to change. You need to know that there is nothing on earth you will eat and then you swallow your fingers, and there's nothing you will eat, or rather nothing you will see and tears will start coming out, or rather blood will start coming out of your eyes instead of tears. So what was that? One day there's this girl, lady I'm crushing on. Oh, she's very charismatic, just exactly like the way my mom was very or is very charismatic. So I always see this lady and I pass, she'll pass, and I said, oh, this lady is very charismatic. I want to know her. So one day I was coming and she was coming before me, and we were coming on the same side of the walkway. So I crossed the road, shifted to the other side of the road, and she shifted back to the other side of the road. And I found out that probably it was a coincidence, too close. But I couldn't go to the other side because she was walking faster. And she started smiling to me. And I thought it was somebody behind me. So I looked back. I nearly fell because, of course, I'm jumping my walk with two crutches. When I looked back, I found out that nobody was at my back. And she told me, I'm smiling to you. Yes, you. By then, we are face to face. And so she started telling me about how am I? Oh, you are handsome. You must be a new student. I was so mesmerized, embarrassed. I was dumbfounded, face to face with your crush, and now she's the person virtually toasting you. And then that is when you also know, as far as you can know, you are not enough. You know that the clothes you're wearing is not nice. You know that you're a disabled person. You know that. So I couldn't understand why she could stop and talk to me. So while she was talking, I was looking down, and after talking to me for about 7 minutes, with me just smiling like the head of, a drowned fish, she now told me, it seems you love your shoe a lot. Why is it that you've been um, looking down at your shoe all the while I'm talking to you? And I thought it was just a comment, but she now insisted that I must answer her. She said, do you love your shoe so much? And I thought it was a joke. She insisted that I answer her. And I answered, yes, I love my shoe. I felt so devastated. I felt so embarrassed. I felt so like, at that point in my life, I love my mom more than any other person. because I don't have a girlfriend. I don't have any other person that I cherish most. So it was my mom that I love most. And at that point, it appeared that moment as if my mom died. You see, I started mourning, and she said, "Okay, we talk later." She left, and I went to class. I couldn't concentrate. I felt like somebody who just lost somebody. Then I went home that day. I couldn't even finish my classes. I went home before the classes finished. I got to my room. I went to the mirror. I started looking at the mirror. I said, "But guy, you messed up. But guy, you f up. But we, you was, she was talking to you, couldn't respond. Somebody you been crushing on, and the guy that was talking to the mirror and the mirror was talking back and said like, oh, you can't, you just don't push it on my face. Now I know I'm f up, but the truth is, it was just sudden." And so I kept talking to the mirror. The mirror kept talking to me, and at a particular point, say, instead of just wasting time arguing, why don't you accept and then do something about it? Wow. I became vulnerable, and I said, okay, yes, I messed up. What should I do? And the answer was everything you are looking for is already inside a book. Why don't you find a book on how to build your confidence? Why don't you find a book on how to, talk to a stranger? Why don't you find a book on how to, so it was just like, so I started looking for a book. The first book I found was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Hmm. I started reading the book. I hope you don't want me to tell you what happened when I tried to go out there and test what I have read in the book. It was devastating. I went out to practicalize what I read in the book, and it was outrightly devastating. Okay, you know, um, I met my Waterloo because I went out there. All the people I talked to, they insulted me, left me there, and went. Men, women, the same result. So at a particular time, I started saying, "Yeah, well, they've left me. They've insulted me. So what else?" Now, it occurred to me before I talked to them, they were not my friend. Now that I talked to them, they were not my friends. Now that I talked to them and they didn't talk or receive me well, they are not my friends. So at the end of the day, I lost nothing. I say, wow, that sounds reasonable. Before I talked to them, they were not my friends. Now that I've talked to them and they didn't receive me, they are not my friends. So what did I lose? Okay, I started building my vulnerability intelligence. I started building my vulnerability intelligence. I started building my vulnerability intelligence little by little. Now, but I want to tell you why I am doing this masterclass. The point is the application of this is beyond your imagination. Now, when I started, when I finished from then on, because this happened in my year one, from then on, I started seeing things from the perspective of, yeah, I want to get the no. So the no became a game for me. How can I get the no? How can I just get more no's? How can I just get the no's? So the no's become a game for me. I started, you know, looking for the no's in everything I do. I started looking, oh, say no, when I'm at the airport, oh, say no. I don't want you to be the person coming to me to talk to me. I want to be the person going to you to talk to you. And then I want you to say no. Yeah, because that's the worst case. And I found out that all the people who started becoming my friends, all of them, they started liking me in such a way that I couldn't imagine. They said, "You're intelligent. You helped me achieve this. You I'm very smart. Uh, the things I don't see in myself, they we are seeing in me. Wow. You know, I started understanding that, okay, probably I'm powerful, probably I'm intelligent, probably, so I started, started feeling in that way. And, before you know it, yeah, I started making money with that confidence. So leads us to the issue of confidence before I go back to vulnerability and wonder. Now, if you want to be rich, it will be very difficult without confidence. If you want to be rich, it has to be very difficult without confidence. Confidence gives you some entitlement, positive entitlement. I call it holy arrogance. When you have confidence, you are going to be arrogant in a holy way. Now, some of the things you're going to feel, number one is that no other person on earth has the same fingerprint like myself, had the same earlobe, tongue print, eye print. Nobody has the same face. Like that's why if I lock this phone or lock this device with my face, no other person can actually unlock it. So what happens is that you start having that confidence that every good thing you deserve it. So you close your eyes and you always close your eyes and say, my name is Dr. Kali Cousins. Good things happen to me. My name is Dr. Kali Cousins. I deserve good things. Immediately you start having that level of confidence. So you will come out to a government establishment and you go in there and say, I want to see the permanent secretary, I want to see the minister. And they say, you can't go in. How can you? Are you on appointment? I say, no, I'm not on appointment. But I want to see him or her. And they'll tell you, no, if you're not on an appointment, there's no way you can. She said, can you see the person sorry, can you get an appointment from the person who you have not met? So there must be a way to see a public officer. Please tell me he's visiting there or her visiting there. Tell me what to do to see him. Now you start having that thought that you are part of the system. That's what happened to me. I started having that thought that I'm part of the system. Nobody can shut me up. Good things should happen to me. I see good building. I see good land in good site. I see good cars. I think is my birthright. That's what the vulnerability intelligence, instilled in me. It instilled in me confidence to actually go out there and try out things and fail. I saw life as a game because one thing about vulnerability intelligence is that you become unblackmailable. That's one thing about it. Nobody can blackmail you because you are ready. Yeah, for the worst. Nobody can shame the shameless. So you are ready for the worst. You are ready to fail. So nobody can shame you with failure. Nobody can shame you with public opprobrium, public shame. Nobody can shame you with anything. Oh, you didn't speak the English well. Your write-up was not nice. Your proposal was below standard. You want to do it so that you can learn. So vulnerability intelligence instills in you the confidence and for income and impact. A lot of you who are watching me now and watch me later or whenever you want to watch, the problem with a lot of you is you are afraid of failure. You don't want somebody to laugh at you. And the question is, don't you understand who critics are? A lot of critics are those who haven't done and they don't want you to do. So why will you be worried about those kind of people? So the understanding that you need a failure before success. The understanding that you need shame before respect. The understanding that you need to learn before you become an expert. The understanding that you must probably go through poverty unless you have an inheritance before, yes, you have an inheritance before you make it. They understand that you need to sweat before you rest. They understand that you need to work before you rest. That understanding helps you to actually go out there to try and do that. So in the next 5 minutes, we're rounding off the spot. The question is, and if you're here watching, I want you to give this video a thumbs up, then share the video with the people you love. I mean, the people you really love who are suffering from inferiority complex, suffering from um, perfectionism. And because of that, they've not been able to achieve their dreams. Now, if you see me walking, I jump my walk. I'm disabled in my lower limbs. I can't walk like you. I've fallen in most places on earth. Yes, from my room, you know, to my offices, to, you know, all my travel, to stages where I go to speak. I fall, things slip me and trip me. I'll fall and I will rise. How many times should I fall and then you tell me, oh, sit down there, don't rise again? No, as far as I keep falling, I'll keep rising. How many rejections have I had? I can't even remember any because I have auto deletes. When you reject me, I auto delete it. Whoever you are, whether is in business or in friendship or in whatever it is, I talk to you, you don't like me, I auto delete. I say next and go to the next person. So what's my charge with the remaining few minutes? My charge to you, let's tabulate it. Number one, I want you to understand that there is nothing you will eat, and because of the sweetness or the bitterness, you will swallow your finger. Nothing like that. So you can only lick the finger and allow it to be. In other words, there is nothing that you will see, no matter how negative, and there's no way you will cry and then you start shedding blood. No, you won't. You won't. If somebody told me, "Oh, my husband is sick, and my I just lost my source of income." She was crying all the way, and all that. She wanted me to pity her, but I told her, "Those who will pity you will not help you. So, because I want to help you, I will not pity you. So, before I speak to you the next time, clean your eyes, and then get ready for the solution so that we can talk." Yes, I said, "Can you do that now?" I waited for her to do it. Unfortunately, she couldn't do it immediately. So I gave her 15 minutes and I got busy with another thing, got busy with another thing, got busy with another thing. And, I've not been able to speak with her. But I would do that because, when I land in the city I am going to tomorrow, in the evening, I will call her to speak with her and we find solution, financial solution, spiritual, physical, emotional, and every kind of solution. We find the financial, we find those solutions. So the point is that no problem yields to any other thing than solution. Poverty doesn't yield to any other thing than solution. Solution is what value are you offering? If you're not offering value, forget it. There are only two ways to make money: the bad way and the good way. Yes, if you are kidnapping and killing people and robbing and all that, that's one way you can get rich. But I don't see, except politicians, I don't see rich people who are very old. Sorry, I don't see armed robbers and criminals, who are very, very old, because over time the law will catch you. Yeah. So if you want to make money the wrong way, well, I wish you luck, but no luck too. But if you want to make money the right way, which is the only way that I know, I encourage you to be a person of value and then remove fear. I am taking you to the other side of fear. Everything you ever wanted is at the other side of fear. Everything. If you cross to the other side of fear, you see everything you've always wanted. My charge to you today is that I want you to write that proposal and go to that particular ministry, department, agency. I write a proposal, go to that company that you want to talk to. Now, because this is just a masterclass of 30 minutes, because we'll round off soon. You know, I say that proposal is a sequel to preliminary discussion. So I'm not saying you must write proposal before you get anywhere, but I'm saying, walk into places and say, hey, I want to work with you. I want to deal with you. I want to have this with you. Talk to the people. Don't be afraid. Now look at the time. What time of the year it is? The year is running, and you will soon find yourself in another year. If your birthday hasn't come, soon it will, because the year is running out. The point is, you can't continue this way. Be vulnerable, loosen up a little. Do you have a woman you want to marry, and you are crushing her, and you want to go tell her, "I love you and I want to marry you"? Do you have a business partner that you want to talk to and say, "I want us to do business together"? A prospective business partner. Do you want pay raise and you want to go talk to? Go and do that. Be vulnerable. Yes, then don't have too much respect, compliance nature. Lower your insult um intolerance. Put your insult tolerance very high. Even our savior in the good book, he was killed by the people he met. He was killed by the people he created, and he never said, "Oh, I'm your savior. Let thunder fire you." No. Yes, don't be that. Oh, I can't take insult. You will soon become an example of insult. I can't take embarrassment. You will soon be. There is nothing in embarrassment. When they embarrass you, go home. Nothing. People even survive gunshots, and you are now talking of embarrassment. What is embarrassment? Go there, shoot your shot. Go there, do your thing. Go there, and then, say, this is what I want. I promise you, 8 out of 9 times, rather 8 out of 10 times, you are going to get a yes. Yes. And then 5 out of 10 times, you're going to get a bigger yes. And 3 out of 10 times, you're going to get what you're looking for. That's the least. Yes. Remember, if you want to be successful, you need to understand the law of average. Our time is up. I'm gonna leave you with this, but I promise every Wednesday, and intermittently, I will always come back here to talk about different topics, answer questions from people. So if you're not subscribed yet, I encourage you to do so. Share, comment, and give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much. If you have a question, I want you to ask your question on that days, or you go to my Facebook and send me a DM. I will answer you in my next broadcast. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Till then, be vulnerable. Thank you.